Hello, welcome to the All for the Culture podcast and YouTube show. We are back again for another episode, and we like to examine all parts of the culture that we love because for, younger guys who want to get into the game but maybe don't want to rap, want to do other things. So today, we're going to be talking to somebody who works directly one-on-one with rappers behind the scenes and has actually made some, monumental achievements in the game. So today we have GoldToes from all the way from San Francisco, California. I appreciate you coming in today, man. Thank you so much.
No, appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, man. How you doing?
Good. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. I'm glad I was able to make it today, under everything that's going on at the
Yeah, I
last
know,
minute
right?
notice.
We had a big storm last night in Houston. And, oh my God, it was crazy. So, let me ask you, man, how did you get into the game? How did you start and why did you want to get into hip hop?
Well, the story goes like this. I had some money when I was about 20 years old, 21, I believe, and I didn't know what to do. I wanted to either I was looking for a business to invest. So Starbucks was just coming out, and I was going to start a Starbucks company. But that didn't happen. I ended up getting sidetracked by one of my friends, Charles Kelly, out of Fillmore, California. We ended up being godfather to the same godson, which is my godson Philip, and which brought us together. Okay. And in doing that, he talked to me about getting in the rap game, making music, and how it's profitable. Okay. And it was a good business to get into. At the time, the guy on top of his game and the youngest guy in the streets was a artist by the name of San Quinn out of Fillmore District as well. Okay. And actually, at that time, I was living in Fillmore, so that's how we ended up really hooking up. I was in a situation with the laws, so I was in a little halfway house, trying to get my shit together. You feel me? But everything was going good. I was getting on the right track. I had, my mind was on business and how I was gonna make more business and legitimize myself. So we went to the studio. I made a song with an artist by the name of Seth the Gaffler. Was my first song. And it was called This Game. And I'll never forget the feeling I had getting out the studio, knowing that I went ahead and I just learned how to pay for studio time, pay for, at them times it was called a reel-to-reels, these reels you have. And I forgot, we was down on 3rd Street in San Francisco. That was my first spot. That was the studio that was recording everybody. And I just remember, I've heard, like when I was younger, I heard these rappers. I just never knew how they did it or was never really even entertained to know how they did it. But music has always been in me ever since I was a child. Okay. I have many musicians in my family, so it was just always there. Yeah. But that feeling I had of achieving to making one song, I was addicted. The first song I made, I was like, ready, make the next song, and then the next song. And in doing that, we came up with an album called 17 Reasons. I ended up making my record label name Black and Brown Entertainment. My moniker became put into effect by my brother, Ballhead Rick out of Lakeview. He named me GoldToes because of my 64 Impala had the gold rims on them. When the gold days, the spokes.
I was wondering how you got that name.
Yeah, well, that's what it was, because they was like, man, it was just Julio. And I was like, no, you need everybody had their little nickname. They was like, no, you need a name, man. It was just Hoocher. That's what everybody called me back in the day. But we made a song called Power and the Pain off of 17 Reasons. And, man, that song, he named me GoldToes. So, that's what happened.
That's funny. So you made your first song, but talk about how that progressed into your selling the album, the success you had with it, because you did have success off your first two compilation albums. Am I correct?
Yes. I mean, they did really well, but they both hit Billboard. I mean, 17 Reasons when it came out, like, at the same time, I was still running the streets, so the music was still, I was doing it, but it was kind of like a hobby to me. It was just fun at that time. I wasn't really serious like I am now. Yeah. At all.
Okay.
We were just, we got lucky. We had no idea. I remember, I still never forget, like, people calling me up, like, you on Billboard, like, tripping out. And it took me years to really figure out
what that means,
what that meant. Like,
oh,
and
wow.
I really was like, okay, cool, whatever. You know,
that's crazy.
None of my
crazy.
crew,
That's
you know. But I have to say this, that I didn't do it all by myself. I always had my team with me.
Yeah.
You know, I always had a group of people. My close business partners as well. They all have interest in the company and into certain albums. So we all always went to business meetings together.
Yeah.
And like I didn't just go there by myself. When I would walk into a meeting and meet somebody, they meet me and my homies, and we sit there and listen, and then we discuss everything, just like a real business. But because it was so new.
Yeah.
I think some people and companies would look at us a little like, damn, this dude just brought the neighborhood to me, you know.
Kind of like.
But
unpolished.
It wasn't in a bad, yeah. Unpolished, but we were very in all good intentions, nothing like threatening or nothing like that. But just to have some younger cats, Latins and blacks sitting
tattoos
there looking,
and
you know, all that, just the whole, you know, the hood to come right there. But we're learning, so it was like there was so much to learn. I would sit there, listen. I would have an appointment, be like, all right, let's go over there and talk to this guy. And we'll go over there, chop it up with him. We'll sit there, you know, and we decipher if this guy's a good guy, is he a bad guy? Because during that time, there was a lot of, you know, fuckery going on as well. So you got to watch who you want to play with.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
Yeah. We talked about off camera, then you getting into the behind the scenes work. How did that go from you actually doing the music and rapping to now you being behind the scenes and working as more of an executive? Because, you know, you talked about your distribution company that you have here, the digital distribution company, the 2 record labels you have. So how did that change from rapper to, or from musician to executive?
Well, so no, I started off executive producing always for 10 years. And then when I started Thiz Latin Records, I actually started that was 10 years into the game. I just started rapping. Like my first song actually, which was a big song here in Houston, was written by South Park Mexican.
Okay.
And it was called Game Untold, and they played it all over the radio. Still plays today.
Yeah, I remember.
Walk on Toes, when we walk on toes, yeah. So I, like, after that, you know, I said, hey, you know what? Maybe I'm gonna give it a shot. I have some of the artists write me some music, and I had fun doing it. I tried. I did 2 albums, and that was it. I really never really tried to take it all the way there. I noticed that I wasn't the guy. I didn't like to get on stage and rap in front of everybody.
Okay.
I kind of that really didn't fit my personality. But I did like going into the booth and rapping. I did like, you know, making some music. And I made some good music. I mean, I had about 5 radio songs. I actually did very well. I did very well. The only thing about it is my heart wasn't there. My heart was in helping other artists become what they need to be, because I knew I wasn't gonna be the big he's it. I knew that.
Oh, so, okay. So you wanted to either be the big huge star, correct, or I'll work with behind the scenes.
Let me see where I'm at. Okay. You gave it a shot, but this is 10 years after, you know, and I still get on the mic. People, you know, ask me, request me, but like I tell everybody, I keep it 100. I do not know how to write a rap. I never knew how to write a rap. I'll never know how to write a rap, and I do not have the patience to write a motherfucking rap. They gotta write that shit for me. I gotta like it, the way they flow it, and then I'll recite it. I know how to recite very well. I know how to make shit sound good.
So you get a guy to write for you, a ghostwriter, and do the track that way. It's different when someone comes out and says, "Hey, look, I do use a ghostwriter, and I do just recite the rhymes," because I feel like that doesn't negatively affect the culture. I feel like negatively affects the culture when you say you are a writer, but you can't even write bars, or you can't even get through a whole song correctly. You gotta wait for the engineer to tell you to stop rapping. That's ridiculous to me when you perpetrate like you're that way. But I love that you come out and just say, you know, I didn't write, I had a ghostwriter, and so from the very beginning you didn't write, or did you?
From I ain't never wrote nothing in my life. I still can't. I mean, I maybe freestyle a bar or two, but that's about it. But I never was the writing type. You know what I'm saying? And but in doing so, I mean, I have artists, big artists. Berner wrote half my damn album. 18. The first we had a GoldToes and Berner album. And he wrote the whole album. I mean, when he first came out, he was writing. He was like, "Toes, I want to write raps for you, man. You sound doper than all your artists." When Cheney started writing my shit, you know. But I mean, I have artists now that's even still to this day. Toes, let me write you a rap. I need you on my shit, man. Put you on, have you sounding right. I'm like, that's good, you know.
There's very few rappers like Berner who I caught on early, and at first, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really get it. But I haven't seen too many artists that have had the progression and the growth that he's had in those years that I've seen. I want to ask you, talk about your relationship with Berner, how that started, when that started, and what it is now, and how y'all kept such a good relationship for this many years.
Man, me and Bern been rocking for about 12 years strong. You know, when he came into the music industry, he was just starting to rap. And being that he was a Latino from San Francisco, at that time, it's my obligation. If you're in the Bay Area, you're Latin especially, and you're rapping, I need to know who you are and build a relationship with you.
Okay.
So, I just like everybody else, I reached out to him, introduced myself to him, and me and him created a friendship, and I was able to apply everything I know and help him out. And at the same time, him helping me out too. When we created that friendship, the rapping thing came into effect, and
Okay.
he wanted to start writing raps, and he got on a lot of my albums. 18 with a Thiz was a big album that he was on,
Okay.
a big participant on, and I was the first person to get him on the radio.
Okay, so you met him before he started rapping.
No, right when he started rapping.
Right when he started rapping.
Made his first song, first video.
Okay.
And I looked at him and I knew that this is that I knew that he was something special. I seen it. He actually, I always told him, like, he actually reminded me because of the uniqueness of his voice was like a South Park Mexican.
Oh,
He had
okay.
a unique voice.
Yeah, he does.
know.
Yeah, I can see how you make
And-
that comparison.
And a lot of people at the same time, he had a hard time coming up though. It wasn't the reason why he's so strong now and why he's always evolving. But when he was coming into the rap game, there was a lot of resistance with him.
Yes.
a lot of hating, a lot of unnecessary shit.
Yeah, what was his
And
heritage? What's his heritage?
He's Mexican and Italian.
He's Mexican. Okay.
But with that, he was able to build some great relationships. With the who needs to be who he need to be having relationships with.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And especially in San Francisco, we're real territorial. Where people are from, and it was just he came into the game, man, and he just stayed consistent. I mean, there's times though, I remember we'd have some deep talks, and he wanted to quit because of the pressure of trying to make it out and people stereotyping him and this, that, and he just kept going. After his mom died, I would say though, is when he really just blew out and was like, fuck it, I'm doing this shit for real. Not only that, the marijuana industry, his knowledge of that and working in that field.
That seems like that's his real passion.
That was a whole different lane that was he put the magnifying glass on it.
Yes, he is one of the artists too. He is one of the artists in rap. Probably the artist in rap to really expose the medical marijuana community to rap and really integrate those two companies. And I follow his Instagram, and to me personally, he's one of the dopest businessmen I see in the industry.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I wanted to ask you, were you there to see him when he kind of became Taylor Gang and
I was
joined
right.
all that?
I've
And
been
if you
there
could
to-
tell us how that happened,
Been
how he
there
was
on
doing
every
that.
major moment in his career. When the Taylor Gang thing happened, he had the Yoko Ono song out, and that's the song we were pushing for the radio with Chris Brown and Wiz Khalifa. And that song right there was the change. That was the pivot move. That was that one big break that he needed to for the nation to really see him.
Mm-hmm.
And after that just broke him out. That broke him out. It increased his relationship with Wiz. The response was great, and and after that, man, that really just, rest in peace, my boy P. Nice, Phil. You feel me? He had passed away. He was he was somebody that helped out and put that whole play together, man, for Berner.
Okay, so now he's officially signed to Taylor Gang, or
Yes, he's officially signed.
He's officially signed to Taylor Gang. Is he having a debut album come soon, or any?
Well, they got a group album coming soon, and they got their own situation. It's forever evolving to see what's the next move gonna be.
Okay, all right. And so you also talked about working with or knowing South Park Mexican and that. Could you just talk about you and his relationship and
With South Park, I was a good friend of mine. We still talk to this day. I met South Park back in. She actually met him on the phone back in '97 when I was making the 17 Reasons compilation.
Okay.
And like I said, he was on my voicemails rapping, and at the time I didn't pay him no mind. I was hearing that he was trying to do some music and he was looking for a label at that time to work with.
Okay.
But after like 2 years later, I ended up coming down to Texas by the way of Baby Bash. And I kept hearing his name. I came down here and went to a concert. There's like thousands of people in the Coliseum. I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm like, I passed this dude up. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? You know, so, but we always kicked it off good. We had a great relationship. He was, definitely an open arms to my record label and to our family. Okay. And we got integrated and meeting all the dope house. And one thing I did learn from South Park and them is, the booth days when they were doing the car shows and setting up booths and all that.
Okay.
Like, we weren't doing that in San Francisco at the time.
Okay, all right. I mean, are car shows as big in San Francisco as they are
here? No,
they're
big, but record labels like myself, especially Latin labels, I was the only one really. Nobody was setting up booths, and so I was like, I brought that back home and started lacing it up, and then everybody else started catching on.
Oh, okay. When do you know when he's expected to be released? When is his release date?
I do not know his release date, but I hear something's coming up soon.
Something's coming soon. Oh, okay. You also work with Lucky Luciano, correct?
Yes.
Now, I'm not as versed on Lucky Luciano, so...
Lucky Luciano is the hardest mouthpiece in Texas, man. That boy go hard.
Lucky Luciano. Why do I remember that? Oh, wait, I did see him. You know where I saw him? On the Mexican Mike Pass years ago.
Yep.
On the Mexican Mike Pass years ago. Was he rapping at the? So he's signed to Swish House?
No, Lucky Luciano's been running his own label for the last 10 years. He was first signed to Dope House Records. Okay. And then his deal was up for them, and he started Steak and Shrimp Records.
Steak and Shrimp Records.
Right.
Okay. All right. Is Dope House still going? Like, do they still have a record label going? The
Dope
SPM
House,
and stuff like that?
I don't think the label's still in motion, but I think they got a project coming out here and there. But for the most part, their distribution company is big. They're the ones you go to and you bring your CDs, and they put the CDs in all the gas stations all through the South when you walk in.
So you talked about the distribution thing, and that's something that you're getting into as well. We talked about that off camera.
Correct.
Talk about that for the people that don't know about that. Like me, I don't know much about that business. How do you get into it, and what does it take, and what is involved?
Well, distribution is basically you have to have a partnership with somebody and that's connected to every site in the world to sell music.
Yeah.
And then what we do is collect your money and pay you out and help market you and promote you at the same time. But the main thing is just, having resources, knowing what to do with the music once you get it. If you have a radio hit, do you know how to tell this guy, hey, look, you have a radio song. I think you need to go ahead and give it some attention.
Yeah.
This is a radio promoter here. You put them together because you want them to make noise and make the music sell so we can all make money. So it's basically guiding the artist or the label on what to do,
Okay. So when you're doing the distribution now, are you signing artists? Or do you actually sign artists
I sign them to a distribution contract.
To that company. Oh, okay.
No.
What's the difference?
They signed a GT Digital Distribution.
So what's the difference between that and signing to a record label?
Well, if you're gonna sign to a record label, that means the record label is gonna put money behind you.
Okay.
That's what record labels are there for. They're the money man.
Okay.
Straight up. So there's a difference. So distribution give you some upfront money for an album.
Okay.
So you can deal with them and work with them because they know they're gonna make their money back, and you may need a little money to help sell the record.
Okay. But you're not paying for them to record the album or anything. It's after the album's done.
If the difference between the record label and distribution, record label, if you're gonna do a record label, label's gonna pay for everything. They pay for everything. You shouldn't have to pay for nothing. Mm-hmm. Unless it depends on what deal you have, though. Some people go 50-50. Some people may have a good record label name, and the artist is like, "Hey, you know what? I don't want you to spend that much money. I want to come in with half, and let's go halves. But we'll still use the record label name because it's a good brand."
Okay.
It's just how every deal can be worked out different. But a basic record label, if the artist has no money, he just has his music, or he wants to record with a record label, the record label's gonna pick him up and say, "Hey, look, this is the deal," and a lot of people don't agree with record labels, percentages and splits. I mean, but hey, if you're the guy putting up all the money, then you're looking for a big return. You're not there to just make a little bit back.
Let's talk about that. Because you're an executive here. You're the first executive we had on the show. I want to talk to you about 360 deals. What's your opinion? Because you were obviously in the game before 360 deals existed. Mm-hmm. You now 360 deals. What do you think? Like, what's your opinion on 360 deals? And working with an artist like Berner, whose merch is very important. He does a
doesn't-
lot of merch.
He wouldn't need to do it because he's
Exactly,
already
he wouldn't need
independent.
to.
But if it's good, if you don't got no money and you don't got no name, make it happen. That's your
Yeah.
outlet, you know.
Yeah, and
Me personally, I haven't signed anybody to no 360 deals. I'm signing you for 5 years if I get you.
okay, so you don't do 360 deals at all.
No, I will. I will.
Okay.
It just depends on the artist
Okay.
and what kind of money we're talking, what they're bringing to the table.
And labels are doing it now because the money that is coming in from the sales of the albums are less, right?
Because
So
well,
they need to
they're gonna wait till the
recoup
artist
somehow.
is really hot though to do it.
Yeah. Record labels are not really breaking artists anymore. It's more the artist's job to break themselves, and then
Come to the record label to pull them up to the get
the
that money behind them and blow them back up, get them on. An artist can only go so far, but if you don't know about how to tour, you don't know how to merchandise, you don't have the money to do all that.
Yeah.
Because a real artist, if you're really gonna make it and you taking the music game seriously, you're gonna have a team behind you.
Yeah.
You're gonna have your manager, your business manager,
Yeah.
your tour manager, your road manager. You're gonna have your booking agent. You know, a lot of people got to have their booking agents. They think the managers do that. No, you're supposed to have a booking agent that's insured.
Yeah.
I like do music because I love it. I like the way it makes me feel.
No,
So
I
if
agree
you
with
go-
that, but
so
I'm
if
talking
you
about
go
doing
into-
it for a business, you know?
Well, no, I'm saying you can still do business. You just can't do as much business you like.
Yeah.
You got to stay within your perimeters, just like anything. If you want to go to the damn ballpark, if you ain't got the money, you can't go. But if you want to go to the ballpark and then watch a ball game, you'll go. Same thing with studio. If you ain't got enough money for studio, you can't go. You get your money for studio, go make some music.
Yeah.
You know, because if you because you don't want to. What I would say is you don't want to deter them from their dreams. They might go make that one song, like the little kid Lazy Boy from San Jose. This guy made one song one day in December last year. And now we're about to have his ass all over the radio.
Yeah.
With the I will tell you this,
do
though.
need these different things,
I
you
will
know?
tell you this. You as friends to the rappers that you fuck with, just tell them the real. If they suck, they suck.
Yes.
Don't fucking get in the rap game. That's what I will say.
Yes, I like that.
If they suck. But
I
if
like
they
that.
good and they ain't got no money, they ain't got this, man, you got to hang in there. You got to just hang in there and do what you
I
can.
agree with that.
But if you suck, my nigga, and if you got, or if you're a friend of somebody that's not a good rapper and they want to do this and they want to do that, they want to rap, but they suck. Man, you got to tell them. And all you guys might have to say, bro, you ain't tight. It's not cool. You don't look cool doing it. I mean, really, man, I have to tell people that shit all the time.
Yeah.
But they don't like it. You know what I'm saying? But I tell them because I'm their homie. I'm like, bro, I tell them, hey, this is tight. This is weak as what the fuck is you talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you got to be real with them. And a lot of people, though, I'm going to tell you, a lot of people be hella fake with people. And I see it
They do.
Because they'll tell me right after, damn, blood, that niggas. I'm like, well, why don't you tell them? Shit, why you telling me? You ain't helping me. You're not helping this shit out. The song fucked up now.
That's what I...
You done, nigga done fucked up the song.
Yeah, but it goes the reverse too. I got a homie who raps at the beginning of our intro here on our channel. He was just here for a minute, and he raps in the beginning of the channel, raps at the end, and the reverse is true. If you got a homie who's good, push him to rap. Be like, yo, go, like, you know, and motivate him and come on, man, get in the studio. So I feel like it goes for the reverse because we gotta improve the culture and always try to keep the culture going. And I feel like being honest is the way to do that.
Yeah, you gotta be honest,
because
man.
what's gonna happen is you're gonna end up on American Idol, get laughed at by Simon.
You're not even gonna make it to fucking American
You're
Idol.
gonna get laughed at on camera. Something's gonna happen. You're gonna get laughed at on camera. Or something.
But hey, man, I mean, as long as you could be honest, so you know, it's just what it is. If they're your friend, you know. Anyway, but I deal with this shit all the time.
How did you what made you fall in love with the culture? What made you love the culture? What made you first get into hip hop?
I mean, what really thrived me back in the day, we was gangbanging on wax, so that's what I liked at the time. That was the dark side of shit. I liked that gangster rap. You know, it was really that's what 17 Reasons and 18 with a Bullet, all, you know, some hardcore gangster Bay Area music.
Okay.
And what the streets was about at that time. So, you know, that at that time, me being young, that's what we was about, and that's what thrived me.
So
you know,
what were
we
your
like, you know how the Indians go to war and they play the motherfucking drums? Well, we made the music, and you know, we was, you know, at that time, Black and Brown still cracking in the Bay. I mean, we're actually bringing the label back now with This Nation.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Mac Dre, you feel me?
So we're gonna talk about that in a second. You're mixing the Black and Brown communities. What artists did you listen to? What artists influenced you? What artists did you?
Tupac.
Tupac.
Tupac Shakur, but RBL Posse out of San Francisco, 11-5, Coog Nut, San Quinn.
What artists are you digging now that are big and popping and stuff right now?
The ones that I'm digging right now is just I'm digging this cat Lazy Boy we just picked up.
Okay.
I'm gonna
have to do my research on him.
Yeah,
Okay.
Lazy Boy going hard. We got SOB.
Okay.
RBE Cats out of Vallejo, California. That's cracking.
Yeah.
I got a young Cinco out of Sacramento.
Yeah.
Lucky Luciano's always in the deck.
Okay.
Lavish D out of Sacramento.
Okay.
Hardcore rap, gangster rap. That old school rap. He come with that. That fire that you can feel. There's a lot. You know what? But I listen to a little bit of everybody. There's just not that one person that I actually listen to. I listen to a variety of music.
Okay. Has there been any other Latin rappers in Houston that you've worked with besides Lucky Luciano, like Gigi Garza?
Yeah, I've worked with every. I get money when you say work. It's just not a studio. I get money. I've gotten money from every Latin rapper in Houston.
Oh wow. Okay.
Every Latin rapper in Houston getting money with Toes.
So
money with Toes or getting money with Toes, and that's a fact. You need to film that.
Okay. So all right. So you talked about you getting money with all the Latin rappers in Houston. So let's talk about that. Your connection of mixing the black and brown communities. Your company is called
Black and Brown.
Black and Brown. Talk about that, please.
So, Black and Brown started in 1996 out of San Francisco. And then with the first album, 17 Reasons, that we were able to bring the Latins that weren't really on the mic at the time. The only person that was actually rapping at that time in the Bay Area was Baby Bash and JT.
Okay.
From In Too Deep.
Okay.
And then like a year after, that's when we came after, or 2 years after we came out with the 17 Reasons. Baby Bash was on there. That's how we built our relationship. We've been, friends for 20 years. And that really just, bringing the blacks and the Mexicans together and saying just the words black and brown and parading that around the Northern California was a big thing. People were starting to speak it. We had music behind it. We had some merchandise. So it was being felt. Then we were consistent. We just didn't come out with one album. It was 18 with a Bullet, then Mr. Key, then Rada Thugs. Rada Thugs, I came down here to Houston to make Rada Thugs, where I started Black and Brown down here in 2001.
How'd you get your connection down here in Houston? I mean, what
South
made
Park
you...
Mexican and Baby Bash. I got in trouble with the laws, and I ended up taking off from the Bay Area.
Okay.
Went on the little running spree and took off down here and stayed out here for 3 years. And as I was out here, I made like 4 albums.
You on the run over here?
Yeah.
On the run? You're on the run for 3 years?
I loved it out here. It was the best time of my fucking life. 2000, Houston, the year from about 2001, 2000. No, I'm gonna say from 98 to like. 'Cause I came down before we went on with
Lean
98.
Was popping, lean. You could get
DJ
cheap.
Screw was cracking. From 98 all the way to 2004, man. 2003, best years of my life. Houston, every night there was a club to go to.
It was a fun time.
You know what I'm saying? So
I was not ready. I was in middle school at that time, but it was a fun time.
It was cracking. I mean, man, I ain't gonna lie. That's still, I can't even say a better period of my life was probably the best time of my life to this day, man.
When you were on the run, that's hilarious. Can you so talk about how that connection happened with Baby Bash? How y'all connected and how y'all built a relationship?
Well, Baby Bash, he was on 17 Reasons, and then he was also on 18 with a Bullet, and he was just somebody who was a Latino that was already rapping, that already kind of already made his way. So I kind of always looked to him for a little bit of advice, and he was always he was always in a positive. He always had a positive vibe. So I always took to what he said seriously. Okay. So but ever since we met, we've been on point. So
but he's originally from the
He's
Bay.
from Vallejo, Bay Area. Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why for years. I just found that out like last year. I always thought he was from Houston, Texas, because of how much he reps H-Town. I thought.
He came down here and he kept telling me for like 2 years on the phone, told you got to come down to Texas. You got to come. Hella Mexicans out here. I'm like, man, I'm so concerned about the Bay Area. I'm still concerned about locking down the Bay Area. Like I just want to lock down the Bay Area. What the fuck you been going to Texas? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But now, when I made that, and when I came down to Texas and I made that growth, it just opened the motherfucking doors, opened my mind up to what more we could do in the game. Like, man, before I was just trying to lock down my little area code to make it crack. Yeah. Then you're just thinking just half the state. and once you leave out of the state and you leave out of your local area, you start seeing nationwide. Your mind start thinking like, I want to take over everything.
Yeah, you start to expand and get bigger and bigger.
And building relationships in different areas.
Okay. All right. I want to talk about one thing. I mean, I want you to talk about it more in as an executive. The networking aspect of what you do and how important it is, and how you polish your skills at networking.
Well, like I could say, what really blew up our network was when I started Thiz Latin Records.
Okay.
That was 10 years after Black and Brown. We started that, and I believe in 2007, and now it's our 10-year anniversary as of this year. And that's right after Mac Dre had passed away. We created 17 with a Thiz. And 17 with a Thiz is basically another iconic compilation, exactly like 17 Reasons.
Okay.
And we made it, and it became exactly that. It blew up. We had some great songs. Right at that time, there were rapping vans. We had 2 rap vans in the Bay Area. Okay. Ended up rapping once I got a deal for Thiz Latin Records from City Hall Distribution.
Okay.
Getting a deal. Okay. And I ended up putting out a lot of artists. I had about 8 rap vans in the Bay just running around with Thiz Latin, and so when I came down to Texas in 2010, I started maneuvering myself around the United States. I started doing a lot of traveling and establishing chapters. Yeah. Chapters in every city. Thiz Latin chapters. Okay. New York, Denver, Kansas, Omaha, Florida, just all over. We had about 37 chapters.
And you have people running each
chapter?
We have
each person running the chapter. So when we built that network actually really helped Berner. Okay. With that network, we used that to put Berner all around because they were booking Berner in all them states. It really helped them out a lot. We had them in Salt Lake, we had them in Omaha, we had them in Denver. So it cracked off for us. That was good. It was That's how I use that network for the digital distribution company for the same thing as that. So we have these artists, we have all these people that you could tap into. So basically right now, like, you can go to any major city in the United States, and you can go to different countries. You can go to Honduras. We got a Thiz Latin Honduras, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we have relationships with people that are repping the brand, and it's family, and we all work together.
So you would so that's what I'm trying to convey to people, is that the networking part of what you do and building a network and building these relationships with people and who you know, would you say that's probably one of the key things?
That's key. That's very key. I mean, it's really key. It's who you know and how that relationship is. How well is that relationship? Okay. Sometimes I look at a situation and I look at people and I'm like, hey, you know what? Their relationship is a lot better than my relationship with this situation. Matter of fact, go ahead and handle this. Here, handle that. Okay. Real simple. Yeah. Why am I gonna sit there and play with it? Like, here, you got a great relationship. Just here, whatever the situation may be, go handle it, get it done. Okay. And keep that relationship going. And then now this is my pivot guy for that relationship. So
you do have that relationship, but it's just
sometimes you gotta evaluate shit. Sometimes you might not need to, maybe just it might be somebody that's too distant. It might just be too far geographically. Yeah. Might be just different personalities. You gotta analyze shit. Now I do. I analyze and say, look, you know what, maybe it's better than this guy. My guy who I have a great relationship and he has a great relationship with them, I'll just stick with him and let him deal with him. And that's that, instead of trying to go around and being, hey, you can do that and it gets done, but sometimes you just gotta analyze shit, different stuff.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That makes sense. And so with your you were talking about the net, once you had the network set up, you were able to it also helped your distribution company as well, right? So these relationships that you set up many years ago have been helpful to you still to this day with your distribution company. Yes. How long did that distribution company take to set up and get going? 10 years. Wow.
Since 2007. I started off with there's Ghazi who has Empire now. Yeah. Distribution, but we both started off in Ingrooves, and
Empire's popping right now. They got some artists.
We just did our partnership, me and him. We're good, so we're cracking now. So salute my brother. But yeah, definitely San Francisco was like one of the founders of digital distribution and really got an edge on it. Okay. So out of all the cities in the United States, San Francisco was already polished before anybody else was.
Yeah, but it's always been big in tech and industry and digital and internet. I mean, that's California, San Francisco.
So, I was able to get a grasp on it early. I really didn't start really paying attention to it and really going full throttle until I moved to Texas in 2010. Okay. But I had it. I was just building. And once I got here, I started traveling. I started gaining different, advertising myself in different areas of the nation.
Yeah. That's crazy that we found out you stay like 2 minutes from the studio, from the set. That's crazy. So one thing I want to get into before we, end the interview was you talked a lot about getting in trouble with the laws and growing up and stuff like that. Can you talk about that, growing up and in the Bay Area, and what kind of troubles you encountered and how and what life was like at that age?
You know what? I would like to talk about that, but I'm gonna be honest with you. It's everybody. It's the same story from everybody. I've endured all the possibilities of the game.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I really try to deter myself from that talk, because it's just the same shit. Everybody knows the game. It ain't nothing special.
That's respect, though, man.
I'd rather say that I came from that, though, and every day I'm looking forward to be a better person, helping people out, and helping others that came from that environment, to teach them a different frame of thinking, because at the end of the day, I was a diseased man.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And every day you're just trying to find that cure. It's a in the Bay Area, or not in every ghetto or every situation when you come into that element. It's a disease of mental way of thinking.
Yeah.
And that's what Black and Brown is, that cure. Before Black and Brown, we was feeding ourselves violence and anger. Now I'm trying to feed us positivity, you know what I'm saying? And love, So like when they say Black and Brown, it's just not a color. In Black and Brown, we stand for everything. Black and Brown is a way of thinking positive for you and your family. So that's what we trying to push.
Okay. You posted up a video of you and your mother the other day. Y'all were kind of goofing off, fighting and stuff, having a good time.
Yeah.
You really close with your mother and stuff?
Yeah,
and
mom's. I grew up. She was a single mother. My father died when I was 7 years old.
Okay.
So tragic death. Killed by his first cousin. So that was
really.
Yeah, that was like within the household. So and it was over gang affiliations and shit like that. So it was a hard situation, but she stood strong to everything, and she's been a solid mom the whole way through. It was always hard growing up, because we live in a black neighborhood, and we like the only Mexicans. So that was her being a single mother growing up, dealing with that. It was a struggle, but she always provided, always made sure. She took me out of public school to put me in Catholic school. Yeah. Always, try to have the best for me. I was a spoiled little brat. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get it, but hey, at the end of the day, I was a mama's boy.
Yeah. You know what? Something just popped in my head. I want to ask you about. So today we were supposed to interview Trife Gangsta, and that kind of fell through. He missed his flight, but I was doing the research for his interview, and I'm watching the interview, and he's on High 97, and Ebro is saying something about gangs in San Francisco.
From,
High 97.
High 97. I met Ebro.
Exactly what he said, and I wanted to get your take on it.
Go ahead. Let me hear what he said.
He said, we don't really mess with gangs in San Francisco. There aren't really gangs in San Francisco because the OGs of San Francisco said, that's not happening. We're not allowing gangs over here. We don't do that. We're about getting money. We're not with the wars and the killing and stuff.
That's true. It's more turfs.
Okay.
It's more, turfs. You feel me? In neighborhoods.
Okay.
The Mexicans. There's a gang that's for Northern California, but as far as like, there is gangs in San Francisco, but it is more turfs, and it's true. We players and hustlers. We get paper. You feel me? So
okay.
that's our slogan like that. You feel me? For real.
All right. Well. Our last question is, for the kids out there that want to do the executive part of the business, they don't want to rap, they like you, they love the music, but they just don't want to be on stage, or they don't want to write. but they still want to be involved in music and stuff like that. What advice would you have for those young kids out there who still want to do this stuff?
They still want to do it. Do it because you love it. You know, do it and have fun with it. You know, don't get into it and think about money. I'm going to do that. I mean, you can, but do it because you like how it makes you feel. You know, and that's it, man. It makes you feel good and trying to accomplish something.
Doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like work. It feels like fun.
Yeah, it feels fun.
That's how I feel about this.
Just like anything, it feels, it's fun to do. I like doing this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So. All right. Well, we appreciate you coming out today, man. And shout out all your social medias, man. Shout out whatever.
You can find me GoldToes 415 on Instagram, Facebook under Julio Sanchez, and GoldToes 415 on Twitter. Make sure to follow my business IG page, GT Digital Distribution, and that's on IG.
Yeah.
Hey, hold on. Make sure to follow that, man, Bert. Hold on. GT Digital Distribution on IG. Follow that.
And make sure y'all go check out the cookies. Berner grabs us the hat and the Hemp 2.0.
The Hemp 2.0. We didn't talk about that. I got the refrigerators ready to go for the Hemp 2.0. If you got a dispensary or if you have a business, actually, I just laced up a couple smoke shops. One on the north side.
He gonna lace up the southwest studio?
Yeah, we could lace you up some drinks. But we got the refrigerators I got that we put in the dispensaries with the Hemp 2.0. So if you're looking forward to doing something like that, you can get a hold of me. And we got shout out to my cookies. They always keep me dipped up. You know what I'm saying?
They do. Yeah, they got some dope stuff. I'll be checking out cookies because I'm big into the fashion and stuff.
When Berner comes out here to the H, man, we make sure we can get him in here to get an interview with you. You feel me?
I hope so, man. We would love to get Berner in. Berner, we love to have you, man. I love to talk about everything that you do in the medical marijuana industry and all that. And that'd be dope.
Definitely pleasure, man, to meet you and to hear before we started this interview your struggle and what you doing, and man, I really applaud you, man. And it's like, man, so whatever you need from us, man, we got you to the fullest, brother.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that a lot. You can check us out at www.allthe4theculture.com. You can check our Instagram at All for the Culture Show, and my personal Instagram, I just changed it now, so both my Twitter and my Instagram are at Hip Hop Handicap, so you can find me there. And our Facebook is All for the Culture Show, and if you want the real Snapchat, Elvis Freshly 713. And appreciate everything. Thank you, and thank you for coming out today, man.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate it.